Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on. Come on, I need y'all to lift your hands with me. Come on. I feel it right now, Lord. Hallelujah. Jesus, Lord, begin to work in this place, God. We feel your spirit, God. You are here in this place, God. We feel you out on our skin. We just feel you all over, God. Hallelujah. Begin to worship him, church. Come on, begin to worship. Call out his name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. God, we love you. We're so thankful for your presence, God. We're so thankful for who you are. You came to earth and died for us, God. What are we not? We are not worthy of you, God. Hallelujah. Lord, I ask you to bless this service, God. You're blessing it so far. Continue to bless it, Lord. Speak through me, Lord. Let me be able to speak clearly your words and not God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. In Jesus' name, amen. You may be seated. All right. First, I've got to get through a couple things. I want to first personally thank Pastor Ben and Sharon. Oh my goodness, y'all. I want to say, come on, give it up for y'all. Come on. It is complete. It's an honor, and we are just so blessed that we still feel we're not worthy to be over here. Again, I'm going to give thanks to Lakin. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, the whole drama team. And so if everyone could please give Lakin one more hand. All right. So, before I get right off into it, I got to tell you a little bit about myself, okay? My name is Rocky Foster, and a little unique thing about me is I love to clap. Clapping, I just love to clap. And you're going to find it really weird when I tell you how much I love clapping. I've actually searched how to clap faster. I've even found out how I can clap one-handed. Anybody want to find out? Yeah. I don't know what it is. I find it. You can ask my wife, Lakin. She gets on to me because I always start the clap. I'll end the clap. It doesn't matter. I want to clap. And so my biggest thing what I do with my youth group and everything like that is I love people. Giving me response. I love people being interactive with me. So what I want to do is I'm going to teach you a little something that I'm going to carry on to y'all. Okay. So I'm a football guy. I'm very energetic, and I never stay still. You're going to see me walk. I may run a hole in this stage here tonight. But so I'm going to give you some simple instructions. So just follow along with me. Okay. I'm going to say, give me 2 claps on a count of 2. Okay. Everybody got that? I'm going to say, give me 2 claps, and I'm going to go. Okay. Everybody got that? So I need 2 claps. 1, 2. 1, 2. I love it. Ooh. All right, that may be it. I may be done. All right, one more time. So during my message, I may just ask you, I need 2 claps. And that just gives me courage, okay? Makes me feel like y'all love me, and I'm doing a good job with you. Okay, so one more time. Give me 2 claps. 1, 2. 1, 2. Love it. All right, so first things first. I got a little story. What if I told you there was a baby named Kudu? Baby's name is Kudu. This baby's name is Kudu, born off an island of the Pacific Ocean named Fiwi. Okay? Everybody know it? Kudu, named in Fiwi. Kudu, born in Fiwi. 2 days after he was born, he started talking. He began to say his first word after 2 days. It also says by the age of 2 months he was fully walking. 2 months fully walking. And by the age of 3 years old, he was able to play the classical piano all by himself. Perfect. Never miss a beat. Some of y'all are like, wow, and that's cool. Why did I get like that? You know what happened to me? And then some of y'all are like, that's fake news. That ain't real. Well, for the people who think it's fake news, it is. I just completely made it up. And the reason why is because I don't know if there's a guy named Kudu. I don't know anything. But tonight, the whole premise of tonight is leveling up. The theme of the night is leveling up. And so I want to talk to you for a couple minutes about leveling up in life, leveling up in school, leveling up in your personal life, your relationships, whatever it is. I want to be able to help you along your way about leveling up in life. Because the problem with Kudu is he's moving one level too fast. He's moving ahead too fast. He's moving up too fast. we don't often level up until the other level's finished. Now we're leaving stuff behind that we're not. Why are we leaving it behind if it's not done? And I know y'all sometimes y'all are impatient. I'm the world's worst. Very impatient. Very impatient. I want it now. I'm very impatient. And so sometimes it takes longer to move from one level to the next. And you just got to accept that. That's just life. You just got to be able to accept it. I'm going to tell you another story. 5-year-old Cindy was so excited to go to kindergarten. She goes to kindergarten. She goes, Mama, 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 Mama. I did it. I went to school. I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl. Her mama turns around and says, I'm so proud of you. You are amazing. And you're going to do great things. But let me tell you what. You're going to have so much more fun when you go back tomorrow. Cindy goes, whoa, hold on, Mom. Hang on. I have to go back tomorrow. I thought I was through. I made it. I'm there. I was there for one day. Now I'm good. I'm good, right? There's all these times in our life that we want God to move us from one level to another by prayer rather than by work. Right. Now I'm going to give you an example. One Sunday, I'm not going to name any names, but a student came to me at the altar praying. He comes up to me, he's so serious, and he goes, Rocky, can you pray that I have a good report card? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll pray for that. I said, have you done the work? Have you done the homework? Have you paid attention in class? Have you studied for the test? And all serious, and he goes, not really. Well, I said, well, you know what? I will pray that your report card comes back in the best it can in those circumstances. We're going to make sure those circumstances. And God wants us to move to another level in our lives. And the purpose of each level is to grow us up better to provide for His kingdom. Not only to provide for His kingdom, but also have a better relationship and a better purpose with God. You want to be able to have that relationship where you can go to Him and just get on your knees and say, God, I messed up today. God, I don't know why I did it. God, my friends were doing it. And I just got lost up in the moment, God. I didn't know what I was doing, but I know what I found out. People were telling me what I was doing, and I got caught up in the moment. The thing is, there's always going to be something that will seek out to encourage you to take a shortcut. There's always going to somebody, hey, let's go this way, it's a lot faster. Hey, let's go make this kind of money when you ain't even got to go to school. Let's go over here. And there's always going to be somewhere to encourage you to take a shortcut. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, I've taken a shortcut every now and then. I'm not going to be up here and act like I'm a saint. And I think everyone has either tried or thought of to take a shortcut. We can take a shortcut on homework by not doing it, or wait until somebody else does it in the classroom and then copy it down and change it a little bit so it's not plagiarism. You know what I mean? Done there, been there. It's hard. But when we even try to take a shortcut, growing in God, we only come to find out we're not really shortcutting anything. We're still going to be baby Christians. We're still going to be down here no matter how many times you take a shortcut. How many times you make you think you're sophisticated, but guess what? God knows you. God knows you. You're down here. God knows you. And going into my message, I'm going to take you back in time. I want you to meet someone who wanted to take a shortcut on how to get rich early. He wanted that quick money. He wanted to be able to, hey, you know what? No one else is doing it. I want to get this quick money. God led His people out of the land of Egypt and now is ready to give them the land that He has promised them. His people are ready to graduate or to move from the level that they're living in tents and not having a permanent home to having a place where they can reside forever. And that's where they're going. They will have to fight and take over the land that God has, pretty much given them. And the first biggest test of them is to take down the city of Jericho. Everybody knows Jericho. The wall of Jericho. Everybody knows it. Now Jericho is a city with massive walls around it. The walls are thick enough that chariots can't even run through them. Like these are big walls, okay? And at the time, there was no planes. They didn't have planes to drop bombs right in there or nothing. They didn't have that. They didn't have big tanks where they can go over there and shoot a hole through it and walk through it and be done. They didn't have that. The only way through the gates was the city. Oh, my bad. The only way to the city was through the gates. That's the only way through. And you're thinking like, well, Rocky, why not everybody just rush it? Everybody at all once. Well, let me tell you, the city of Jericho, they had the guards on top of the wall with their bows and arrows, getting ready that if anybody comes in there, they're going to let it go. So, so all these things would come in their mind, and there's just no way around it that something else is going to have to happen. Something from God. To do this, you will have to fight off plenty of arrows. Whenever God moves you to the next level, the first thing that you got to know is you got to work at it. You can't just go in there thinking that you're going to come out of that level the same thing. You got to be able to work at it. You got to be able to move and just to work. Joshua is the leader of God's people. He is also in charge of the military. Nobody there in the army has battled against a city with walls all the way around. No, he is just, and no one is everyone is, new to this as anybody else. How many think some people took a look at that wall and goes, no way. That ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna stay right here. I know my worth. I know what I gotta do. I like this level. I like this level. I don't want to move up. Why do we got to move up? It's okay, we move around the tents and every now and then, but I want to stay right here. It's hard to help people who don't want to challenge themselves. It's hard to help somebody when they don't want to help themselves. The thing with God is that He can never be put in a box. Never put God in a box. Never put God in a box. Never think for the Lord. Let the Lord think for you. You want to be able to use Him and not put Him in the box. Well, God is only big enough for this situation. Or this situation is too small to even take to God. No, it's not. Don't put limitations on God. We as a church want to move to another level, but we can't tell God how He must do it. And what's the next level you want to go into in your area of your life? Of school, whatever it is, jobs, whatever it is. Are you willing to do it God's way? Are you going to present God the plan? Or are you going to let God present you what you need to do in your life and how you can better yourself? And so Joshua is facing how to defeat one of the most powerful cities in the land. He's trying to figure it out, Well, God has a plan, and it's nothing like what Joshua was going to come up with. While Joshua is looking impossible in the task of taking the full-armed city of the huge wall, God joins him and says, see, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with the kings and the fighting men. I'm just letting y'all know, it's amazing to me how God already sees us at this level, and we're walking around with our hand in the pocket on the same level trying to figure out what we're going to do.
That's right.
So I'm talking about God has already sees us. He already sees us at the next level in life.
That's right.
But we're not. We're sitting around, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do. And God tells Joshua, get the entire army, march around the city once. Get 7 priests, have them march behind the army playing, and just the trumpets playing, and just follow the ark with a guard. Tell the people to do that, not to say anything. Be quiet, be silent. Only let the trumpets go. Do this 6 days, and on the 7th day, march around the city for 7 times, and when you command all the people to shout, then take the city. Move to your next level. But there's one thing. Jericho is the first city of many battles to come. To get to the promised land, they got to go through a couple people. Okay? So, in this first battle, for this city only, all the gold, silver, bronze, and iron must go to the Lord's treasury. Like God has got to save that. So in the future, God can build these kingdoms, can build those temples, can be able to provide for the kingdom, and not have to work and just be all over the place. Everything else must be and will be destroyed, God told Joshua. To the people, no one is to take anything out of the city for any reason. There are no shortcuts in my commandments. No shortcuts at all. And when Joshua tells the people God's plan, how many of you look like, okay, we're going to march around that city? And how many times? Why? You not see how? Why don't the guards can shoot us? They probably won't shoot us because we look so stupid. Why? I mean, we just walk around. Why are we making it a whole week? Why can't we just do this in 7 days? I mean, why do we got to burn everything? There's some valuable stuff in there. Why we got to burn everything? There's some stuff we can all live off of. And Joshua, he doesn't have all the answers. And God knows that. He only knows what God told him to do. And sometimes you have to act on in life what God tells you to do. When nothing else makes sense, you get all this talking, chattering around and telling you what you can and cannot do. But you know God sent you on a path and a clear path to do what you got to do. all this talk can get in your ear. And then a lot of things don't make sense to you, but God makes sense to you.
Yes.
Well, the people marched around the city in complete silence except for the trumpets playing. They get back to the starting point, they're done. They go home, they go to sleep, they do whatever, they live their normal life once they get done with that one little task. They do it for 6 days straight, and on the seventh day they march and play 7 times. Joshua said, shout! Shout! Shout unto the Lord! Destroy everything, and remember, do not take anything. When the people gave a loud shout, we all know what happened. The walls came falling down. Everything came down. The city was filled with flames and smoke and fog, and there's people running around. There's animals. Goes the chicken. There's a chicken. There's a lamb. There's a lamb. There's things going all over the place. And this guy, he's destroying everything. He comes up to this. He comes up to this little gold and silver. He sees something valuable. Something caught his eye. Something name brand. Some Yeezys. Some a Gucci belt, some Off-White. He came up to these things and was like, man, why am I going to throw this away? There's some good stuff right here. Why am I going to throw this away? He looks this way. He looks that way. He finds a little paper bag, something down here. Yeah. Put it on himself. And there's so much confusion, there's so much going on that no one really sees him do it. No one sees him do it. He thinks to himself, what are these valuable to? God's going to have a whole kingdom. God's going to let me have this. I was meant for this. Why would God put this in front of me if I knew I was not going to be tempted to get it? Up until this point, these people had God's favor. How else would you expect for them to defeat the city of Jericho? He had the favor. And what's amazing is not a single person died in that fight. Not a single person. Not one soldier, not anything. Nothing was harmed, nothing. Not a single soldier was killed. And God completely protected them from all hurt and danger. This battle of Jericho was not for the people's battle, but it was strictly for the Lord's battle. Because he needed the stuff from the temple. He needed the stuff to enhance the kingdom. You can't get a hold of future cities if you don't have what you have right here. But you all know that one person that just can't stop. He's always going all over the place, and he's that one person. And he tries to move to another level of God experience, and God responds by removing His presence away from His people. Removing it. And so they're coming up to the next city on the map, and they realize that this city the name was Ai. The city's name was Ai. Joshua sends a couple of spies out there to spy on it, and the spies come back with all this confidence and goes, this town, nothing. You see what we just did? I wouldn't even worry about sending the whole army in there. Don't send a couple thousand people in there, get it cleaned up, come on back, we'll have kumbaya back at campfire. We're good. Don't be worried about us. And they tell Joshua not even bothered. Like I said, don't even send them. And they knock off the city, and there's not many men in the city, and it's just going to be too easy. They go in there. They get beat pretty bad. And they run back to Joshua and say, I'm sorry, we can't, what happened? There are some things we can do with God's grace upon us. But there's some little things we can't do without God's power. There's some little things that we can't do without God. Well, when he chose 3, they got beat up, and they come back and they're all freaking out. What? The Joshua and the people are now terrified. If that little city can beat us, what happened? What happened? We were right there. We just beat the biggest city around. And Joshua and the elders called a prayer meeting up, and they got together, they got on their hands and knees, and they said, oh Lord, if you only had not brought us to a higher level, you alone, we had happy where we were. Oh Lord, you see the mess that we're in, and we're about to be wiped out by our enemies. And Lord, it's not going to make you look good when it happens. God was direct and to the point and said, quit all that crying. Quit all that crying and moaning. Stand up. Your problem is that you did not do the right thing. Now, some of you kept some things that you were not supposed to. See, God knows. God knows. You did some things that you were not supposed to. I told you that everything was supposed to be destroyed, and that everything else was supposed to be put away. It's safe in the safe. It's supposed to be for a rainy day. You're supposed to put that up. No one was supposed to take anything. Now, you can't stand up in your enemy because I took my power away from you. I took it away from you. These people are stronger than you now, and they will defeat you. You have a choice to make here. You can either keep what you have and do without me, or you can get rid of the illegal stuff and be in my presence. God is allowing them to choose a level. He's a gentleman. God ain't going to force himself on you. You got to be able to open up your hands and be able to say, God, I need you. I don't know what's going on in my life right now, but God, I need you. I need you. And God's allowing them, like I said, to be on the level that they choose to be. God knows where he wants to take them, but he will not take them if they're not willing to. Well, I mean, what level do you really want to be on in life? I mean, that's the question. Nothing says in the Bible that we are meant to be unhappy and miserable. No, there's nothing in the Bible that says that's what we're meant to be. Jesus said, I have come for you to have life, and I want you to have it more abundantly. That's what Jesus said. We live where we live because that's what we've chosen to accept at the time being. Right now, if we had the decision to put God first in everything that we do, we could see changes to the next level right now. And instantaneously, if we believe that God can do that. And these levels that we pass on the inside, you're fighting internally, you're fighting these demons, you're fighting family, you're fighting whatever it is. These internal fights are way more important than what goes on in the world.
That's right.
What you got to do for you is way more important than what this world thinks about you.
That's right.
Joshua and the people have a decision to make, whether or not they're going to go to the next level or just cower down. Do they really want to find out who made the mistake? Do they really want to know who messed up? I mean, they did break God's commandments. Suppose if they was their father, their brother, son-in-law. What if they got to realize that it may be family, it may be your best friend. Do they truly want to know? Do they truly want to know the truth to go to a higher level? Do they want to say, God, this is the one right here? Sometimes God wants to show us why we cannot move to a higher level, but we're unwilling to face the fact that I got to change.
Yes.
Something's got to change.
Yes.
And God wants to show you, hey, this is why you're not here. It's because of something that you're doing right now. You keep praying to me, you keep fasting to me, you keep reading my book, you keep doing all these things, but I keep telling you that you can't go to where you're going if you don't drop that bag. If you don't drop that bag, you ain't going nowhere. We would much rather hang on to things that God has deemed to be destructive. We would much rather want to hold on to these things. God may say, I can't take you to another level spiritually until you fix that attitude right. I can't take you to where you want to be if you just keep getting attitude about it. I can't take you to another level in me as long as you continue to compromise with your friends. If I do this, you gotta be able to know that you can't just compromise with them. I can't take you on another level of your job if you can't deal with your temper. I can't take you on another level for your grades if you don't decide to do your homework. If you can't put in the work, what am I going to do?
Yes. Yes.
I'm not going to come do it for you. And until you decide, it's so much easier to say I know. And they're holding me back from what coming I could be. My friends are holding me back from what I could be. Guys, when God's favor is on your life, ain't nobody holding you back. Ain't nobody holding you back but you. You're the only one who's holding yourself back. Joshua and the people went ahead and took the risk and said, okay, God, we're going to do it. We need your favor. I don't care what it's going to cost us. I need you to be with us. So what do we got to do? What do we got to do? He said, I want you to inform you that someone is cursed. Someone did the wrong thing. and have them ready to mark as I'm going to be, figuring it out. God could have just yelled it out and said, hey, this is who it is, but He didn't. Maybe the Lord was trying to pressure the person to maybe have some time to make it clean, to make an open confession. There is such a strong temptation in us to believe that the Lord does not know what all He's doing. Because we are simply said, I'm sorry. And everything He's been going to take care of, it don't. It does not get taken care of just because I'm sorry. It doesn't. So there are some things that God exposes about us to keep us getting into the same something deeper. If He keeps showing you, hey, I can't just keep showing you this if you're not going to fix it. He's going to show you this. So a year, 6 months, you're not in jail. You're not, you've dropped out of school. He's trying to show you that you've got to straighten up. If not, you're going to be in something totally different where now you can't get out. God tells Joshua, you have 12 tribes to come forward. One will be chosen. Have all the clans of the tribes come forward. One will be chosen. Have every family from the tribe come forward. One will be chosen. Have every man come out of that family. One will be chosen. The one who is caught with the stolen things shall be destroyed. Thou shalt be destroyed by fire, and along all the things that belong to him, because he has violated the covenant and did such a disgraceful thing to Israel. Now you're thinking, oh man, that's mean. That's pretty brutal. Kill him, put him on fire. Come on, God. But you got to understand, He did that, took away the favor. He lost some soldiers in that battle. See what I'm talking about? Now you're messing up with the people beside you. Now you're messing up with the people who are there for you and want to keep sticking their neck out for you, but guess what? You keep bringing them down. You keep bringing them down.
Yes.
Earlier this morning, or earlier next morning, Joshua did exactly what he told us to do. Joshua tells this man, he finally gets, he goes down one, all the way comes down, finally gets to the one man. Joshua tells him, brother, give glory to God, give Him praise. Tell me what you have done. Do not hide it. And sits there and says, yes, brother, it's true. I'm the one who sinned against the Lord. The day of the battle of Jericho, I saw a beautiful designer robe. I saw some Yeezys. I saw a Gucci belt. I saw all these things all the way from Babylon. And man, it was so speed. It just looked so nice, brand new. And I could not let it go in the fire. I just could. It was going. It would have caused me more pain to throw it away than to keep it. Come on. I saw some silver coins and a gold bar and thought that was going to be enough money for me. I know it belonged to the Lord, but it was just too much for one man to handle. I took it in my tent. The guilt was all over me. I took it in my tent and I dug a hole and I put it in there and I just left it there. Because I want to do right. I took it, but I ain't going to use it.
Come on.
I ain't going to use it. I put everything up and I covered it back up and act like I never had it. The man he had tried to move to another level financially by taking shortcuts. Friends, don't let the desires of wealth cause you to skip levels of anything. Wealth, prosperity, relationships, whatever it is. Don't let that encourage you to go take shortcuts. This man kept a whole nation of people from moving on to the next level. Like I said before, just because you did something now, your family, you've done something bad, now you're bringing down people around you. Now you're not only affecting yourself, but now you're affecting people that really mean something for you. Sin always brings us down the level that God wants us. Sin always brings us down. It brings us down from the level that God wants us to be on.
That's right.
And it's okay. Everyone sins. I'm just saying. I'm not perfect. Everyone sins. And so, but they bring everything else around, and it just does as well. They searched out his man's story, and they found out everything to be true. Joshua asked them, why have you brought this trouble on us? They took him, his family, and his possessions, and they destroyed it all. They were serious about people. They were serious about becoming the people of God again. They were serious about it. And moving on to the next level, leveling up. Though it was painful and costly, they had to do it. Whatever it is that you're going through,
whatever that friend is doing that you just know that is bad, but he keeps pressuring you to do it. That situation and that family member that just, it's uncomfortable. It just gives you bad credit. It's just uncomfortable. It's just not, it's just, I got a question. How serious are you about moving to a higher level in God? What price are you willing to pay to go to that next level in God? The very thing that this man was so sure would lead him to happiness led him to complete destruction. The temptation to take shortcuts and the easy way out seemed to be like a good idea at the time. But as God's servants, we are called to live a life of worth of the calling we have to receive. God is calling us to get up from where we are and move to a higher level. God is never satisfied with where you're at right now. God wants the best for you. He just wants to wrap you up and go, see what you can do. See your potential. See my gift I have given you. That only happens by choosing to live for Jesus on a day-to-day basis. In each situation that comes our way, we got to be able to just know that God is there. God is with us. And before I pass it over, I'd like to really pray for you guys, if that's okay. So if everyone could please stand, I'd like to pray. And I'd like to just give thanks to God. So with every head bowed, every eye closed, God, I love you. I am so thankful for you, God. Without you, we are nothing. Without you, God, I am nothing. God, I'm so glad that you're in this place tonight, God. I'm so glad that you are going to be with us forever, God. You're never going to give up on us. You're never going to give up on us, God. And right now, God,